This is the Motorola Edge 40, Motorola's latest mid-ranger priced at 30,000 rupees. This is the Realme 11 Pro Plus, Realme's latest mid-ranger, one that starts at 28,000 rupees. Now, given the similar price points, which one's better value? Which is the right phone for you? Now that is exactly what we aim to figure out in today's video. Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech and welcome to my comparison video of the Motorola Edge 40 with the Realme 11 Pro Plus. Let's get started. First, let's start with the build and design. While both phones sport vegan leather backs, they have quite a few differences. For starters, the 11 Pro Plus is the larger device because it sports a larger display. While on paper it's not a major difference, the Pro Plus is just 3mm taller, 2mm wider and 0.6mm thicker, but when you actually hold and use these phones, the difference in dimensions, it's actually noticeable. Even more so is the difference in weight. The Edge 40 is almost 20 grams lighter. Here I feel Motorola's finish is a little grippier. I can't really quantify it, but it just feels a tad more refined. I mean, the best I can say is a little grippier. Now that said, the Realme 11 Pro Plus, it's the better looker. The 4 stitches, the line at the center, even the camera array, it's got a lot going for it. Now Motorola does offer an IP68 rating, which definitely is better than the IPX4 that Realme offers. And the sides here, we get metal on the Motorola, plastic on the Realme. So overall, with build and design, I'm gonna have to go with Moto on this one. With the display, once again, we have a lot of similarities. Both brands have gone for Full HD Plus OLED panels which curve at the edges. Neither offers any name brand protection. We get a 6.7-inch 10-bit panel with 120Hz refresh on the Realme 11 Pro Plus, whereas Motorola has gone for a smaller 6.55-inch 8-bit panel with 144Hz refresh on the Edge 40. It's also worth noting that the Edge 40 does go brighter. It's got a 1200 nit brightness peak compared to 950 on the Realme. So as you can see, both panels have their own sets of pros and cons. At the end of the day, which one's better, that's going to boil down to personal choice. So I'm going to leave this one to you guys. Okay, let's now talk specs. Here we have a couple of rebatched MediaTek chips. The Realme 11 Pro Plus, it's powered by the Dimensity 7050, which is a rebrand of the 1080. The Motorola Edge 40, on the other hand, it's powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 8020, which is a rebranded 1100. While at first glance the CPU clock speeds might appear to be the same, when you look closer you can see that the Edge 40 has a 4+4 core split up for the performance and efficiency cores compared to a 2+6 split up on the 11 Pro Plus. Now this is one of the reasons why the Edge 40 scores almost 50% higher in compound benchmarks. The other is the fact that the GPU on the 8020 is much stronger. Now, neither of these phones should be your choice if gaming is high on your list of priorities. Because in this segment, if gaming is what you want, the iQOO 7 or the Poco F5 would be better picks. But between these two, the Edge 40 does perform much better. Now, when you push it a lot, like with say a 30-minute gaming session, the Edge 40 would run warmer, but neither phone exhibits many major signs of throttling. Both scored really high with stability on 3D Mark Wildlife, which I found pleasantly surprising. So looks like MediaTek's done really well with these Dimensity chips. So anyways, with respect to performance, Motorola Edge 40. Now Realme hits right back with battery life. It's got an almost 15% higher capacity battery, 5000 mAh to 4400, and it also happens to be paired with a weaker chip with more efficiency cores. Yeah, it's got a slightly larger display, but it should have no issues lasting longer. Realme has also included a higher capacity 100-watt charger, which lets the Pro Plus go from 0 to 100 in just 26 minutes. On the other hand, with the Edge 40, you get a 68-watt charger, with which it takes the Edge 40 minutes to get from 0 to 100. Now Motorola does offer you the convenience of wireless charging, but even so you gotta give charging to Realme. The 11 Pro Plus wins this one. Now before we jump into cameras, let's take a look at the Sundries. Neither phone has support for microSD or a headphone jack, but Realme does offer support for 2 physical SIMs. On the Edge 40, you do get dual SIM support, but one of those SIMs has gotta be an eSIM. Now, depending on how convenient or inconvenient you find eSIMs to be, you're gonna prefer the solution on one of these two devices. Now, with audio, both phones have support for stereo speakers, but the Edge 40 does sound a little richer and louder. Here, have a listen. And with that, we get to the cameras. We have a dual camera setup on the Motorola Edge 40, a triple camera setup here on the Realme 11 Pro Plus. The primary is a 200 megapixel 1 by 1.4 inch sensor paired with an optically stabilized f1.69 lens, whereas on the Moto it's a 50 megapixel 1 by 1.55 inch sensor paired once again with an optically stabilized lens, but one with a wider f1.4 aperture. And that's something you'd notice in a shot like this, where the subject is prominently in the foreground. You can see that the depth of field is a lot more shallow, the background blur is stronger. Now barring this, both cameras do fare similarly well under good light. Both shoot downscale 12 megapixel shots and the results are comparable. Now the color science is slightly different. Moto has a tendency to boost the blues or reds at times. Realme does the same too, but with the greens, so neither is perfectly accurate. Now when you shoot full resolution though, here's where Realme has a noticeable edge, no pun intended. Now it's true Realme does soften the image when shooting 200 megapixels, but when you zoom in, you can clearly see more detail on the images taken by the 11 Pro Plus. What you're seeing here are shots that have been zoomed in 200%, and as you can see, there's just a lot more detail with the images taken by the Realme. Now under low light, Realme continues to hold on to the advantage. The larger sensor lets it shoot brighter images. Also, it manages to do it much quicker. With night mode, it takes about half the time as the Moto. But when you look closer, pictures shot by the Edge 40, they did come out cleaner with lesser noise. So I'd say low light performance is pretty close, but the brighter images and the faster shutter means I'm gonna have to give a small little W to the Realme again. Now moving on to ultra-wides, we have an 8 megapixel f2.2 on the 11 Pro Plus going up against a 13 megapixel f2.2 on the Edge 40. Here the difference in resolution is instantly noticeable. Like see this, zoom in, I'm sure you can notice the difference instantly. This one is all Moto. With video, both phones can capture footage at up to 4K 30, and that's what you're seeing on screen. Once again, this is advantage Moto. The video tends to be more stable and there's a slight advantage with dynamic range. For selfies, we get 32 megapixel shooters on both phones. The field of view is wider with Realme. The detail levels are comparable for the most part, but the skin tones are more consistent with the 11 Pro Plus. Like there can be a few instances where the Moto captures more pleasant skin tones, but when it fails bad. Whereas with the Realme, it's 10% on either side consistently. So neither is perfect, but Realme is more consistent. So overall, with cameras, these phones are pretty evenly matched. Rating wins. The Moto can shoot images with a shallower depth of field, better ultra wides and better video. Realme on the other hand takes the win under low light when shooting full resolution 200 megapixel shots and with the selfies. Now on the software front, both phones are running on Android 13 with custom skins on top, though Motorola skin is closer to stock if that's something you'd prefer. Now Realme does come with a bucket load of pre-installed bloat, which is something you are not gonna see on the Moto. Almost all these apps, yes, they can be uninstalled or disabled, but there is a whole lot of bloat. It's really annoying. Anyways, moving on, both brands do promise 2 years of Android version updates with 3 years of security patches. Now neither has the best track record for updates, so there is really not a lot between them here. And with that said and done, it's time to talk pricing, and like I said at the start of this video, the price difference between these two phones, it's 2,000 rupees. And oh yeah, both phones, they use the same LPDDR4X RAM, UFS 3.1 storage, so no difference there. Based on what we've seen so far, I'd have to say the Edge 40 seems to be the better value overall. But that said, it's not like the 11 Pro Plus is a bad phone. There is a case to be made for this as well. So let's say you're someone who wants that larger screen, or if you see yourself shooting full detail 200 megapixel resolution images a lot, or if you just simply don't want to put up with the Edge 40's average battery life, then you can save a couple of thousand rupees and end up picking a Realme 11 Pro Plus. But for the vast majority though, the Edge 40 with its more powerful chip and premium features like wireless charging and the IP68 rating, this seems to make more sense. And that is my conclusion here. Do you agree? If you were to choose between these two phones, which one would you choose and why? Let me know in the comments below. And with that, we are at the end of today's comparison video. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you're already subscribed, hit that bell icon so that you turn on notifications and not miss out on any of my future content. And I guess that's it. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Until next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.